Thank you for joining us. Let's begin the news by telling you that Nigeria's Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, says that the Nigerian Air project has been suspended indefinitely. He made this known on Monday at the ministerial briefing to mark the first year of the Tinubu administration. He said the airline was never a Nigerian airline, but an attempt to use a foreign airline to pose as a Nigerian national airline.
It was never Air Nigeria. It was Ethiopian Air trying to flag our flag. It was not Air Nigeria. That is the truth. There was not an Air Nigeria. It was only painted Air Nigeria. It was Ethiopian airline trying to fly our flag. If it is so, why not allow our local people to fly our flag? Why bring a foreigner to fly our flag? So nobody should deceive that it was Air Nigeria. Air Nigeria must be indigenous, must be wholly Nigeria, or must be for the full benefits of Nigeria. Not that 60% of the profit was another country. How does that benefit us? How? It remains suspended. It remains so.
The Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Court sitting in Abuja has affirmed the re-election of Governor Douye Diri of Bayelsa State. Now, the Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Justice Adekunle Adelele, three-member tribunal dismissed the petition filed by the All Progressives Congress and its candidate Timipre Sylva as lacking in merit. According to the court, the law expressly provided that an election petition must be filed not later than 21 days after the result of an election has been declared, and that such petition must be accompanied by written statements of all the intended witnesses. The three-man panel held that the decision of Sylvia and his party to file additional proof of evidence and statements on oath for their witnesses long after they had filed the petition is a deliberate attempt to amend the case of the petitioners. Let's also tell you that the Kano State Police Command has issued a warning about a credible threat of planned attacks on several communities in the state linked to the ongoing chieftaincy crisis. Commissioner of Police Mohammed Hussaini Gumel disclosed this at a joint press briefing with security agencies and representatives of the Kano Emirate Council. According to Gumel, intelligence reports indicate that hired thugs had been mobilized to initiate attacks starting Sunday night, targeting specific locations including Yaka Road, Kofa Nasarawa, Kofa Na Isa Brigade Command, Airport Road, Gida Lawan Hassan, Gida Mai Riga Jata, and also amongst others. The thugs allegedly plan to begin by burning tires to create an impression of a violent crisis, thereby causing widespread chaos. Gumel also clarified that the police stands on the court order that legitimizes Aminu Ado Bayero as the current Emir of Kano, urging residents to remain law-abiding and support security efforts to maintain peace in the state.
Musamman wannan lokaci da aka fitin daga ranar da aka fara rigingimu akan maganar masarautu guda biyar na jihar Kano. Akan haka ne kuma muka kira ku cikin dare cikin gaggawa domin mu tunatar da ku da abin da muka faɗa a wancan taro da muka yi na 'yan jaridu a ofishinmu na Bamfai, kuma muka gaya muku cewar duk wanda ya fito da niyyar ya amfani da wannan rigingimu da ake ganin yana so ya faru tsakanin masarauta da gwamnati, ya ce zai amfani da wannan dama domin ya tada zaune.
Let's bring you updates of the situation in Kano State, where we understand that the Deputy Governor, Aminu Abdulsalam, has issued a formal apology to the National Security Advisor, Nur Badu, retracting previous accusations of his involvement in the ongoing emirship dispute in the state. In a press conference held at the Government House in Kano on Monday, Abdulsalam expressed regret for the misinformation that led to the accusations against Ribadu. He clarified that the government has been misled regarding Ribadu's alleged role in the crisis. Initially, Abdulsalam had accused Ribadu of complicity in the dispute by allegedly providing 2 private jets to secretly bring the deposed Emir Ado Bayero into Kano. Ribadu firmly denied these accusations and a threatened legal action in response. Joining me live on the news is our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudu, for more on this. Emmanuel, thank you for joining me. Please, can you bring us up to speed as regards the latest developments on this matter?
Yeah, actually, two significant things happening right now. The fact that the first is the fact that the Deputy Governor of Kano State, Comrade Aminu Abdusalam, apologized to the National Security Advisor for accusing him of being complicit in the current Emirate saga. Now that apology is very significant because it's a way of apologizing to the people of Kano for giving them a wrong information, because the initial accusation by the Deputy Governor to the NSA was that there was a narrative that the people of Kano have been going around with. So, but with this apology, where the Deputy Governor said the information that was given to him was wrong and he apologized, I think that's more like an apology to the people of Kano, and the narrative has changed now. Everyone knows that the saga has nothing to do with the presidency. The presidency has no hand in this crisis. Now, secondly, very significant this afternoon, the deposed Emir of Kano, His Royal Highness Aminu Ado Bayero, just stepped out in a carnival-like manner in his Nasarawa palace, where he's presiding over the people of Kano. A lot of supporters have been there, security agencies have been there guarding him. So those two significant events are actually what happened this afternoon, today and this afternoon. Thank you.
All right, now let's talk about the general atmosphere in Kano City at the moment. There are reports that some individuals, might just want to foment violence. I mean, is there any form of credibility to that? And what's the situation right now? Are people going about their businesses peacefully?
That statement is very credible because it's coming from the Commissioner of Police, the head of the DSS in the state, and the commanding officer of the army. They held a press conference last night around 12 midnight, where they told the press that they've got credible intelligence that suggests that miscreants are planning to attack over 10 to 20 major communities, that they intend to use burnt tires to give an impression that there is crisis. But since that information has been delivered, the press is aware, it has been broadcast, and nothing like that has happened. Probably the miscreants have been scared away by the news because they knew their plan has been uncovered. So nothing like that. The atmosphere is peaceful for now. We hope that it continues to be peaceful as time goes on, as things continue to unfold. Thank you.
Emmanuel, before I let you go, let's also talk about some sort of resolution to this particular matter. Right now we have two emirs. I mean, even though we know that by law, one has been, of course, recently reinstalled. But looking at a situation whereby you have, a factionized, I call it a traditional set, do you see any solution in sight anytime soon?
Sorry, can you just summarize your question, please? I didn't get you.
My question is, will there be a solution to this problem anytime soon?
Talking about solution to this problem anytime soon, it's very difficult to answer because, as I just told you, I just left the two palaces. You called me around 12 hours at the Emir Mohammed Sanusi II's palace, where we spoke live here around 12. And you just called me when I'm just leaving the palace of Aminu Ado Bayero, where he was having a carnival, a very colorful carnival amidst his supporters, celebrating. They are insisting that he's the substantive emir of Kano. So it's very difficult at this moment. It's too premature to just predict when this case is going to, this crisis is going to be over. It's so full of uncertainty. We just sit down and just continue to watch. Yesterday there was. We told you that there was a press conference by the Commissioner of Police. So we just wait to see what happens, because even the outing of His Royal Highness Aminu Ado Bayero today also sent signals, as well as that of Sanusi. So these are trying times, and it's very, very premature right now to sit down and just assume when this is going to be over.
All right, Emmanuel Bagudu, thank you for your time on the news, and please stay safe. In a significant development, the 6th Emir of Kano, Malam Muhammadu Sanusi II, presided over his first Emirate Council meeting since his reinstatement. This meeting, which was held at the historic Gidan Rumfa Palace on Sunday, included district heads and senior traditional council members. Emir Sanusi, who was reinstated on Friday by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, officially resumed his duties, marking a new chapter in the Emirate's leadership. During the meeting, over 4 district heads and numerous senior council members pledged their allegiance to the Emir, effectively easing the recent tension surrounding the emirship. Following the council meeting, Emir Sanusi engaged with various interest groups, including vigilantes, women organizations, private individuals, and well-wishers who gathered at the palace to express their respect and loyalty. Emir Sanusi's reinstatement on Thursday comes after Governor Abba Yusuf signed a repeal law restoring him to his former position. Let's also tell you that the death toll from the mosque which collapsed at the Kwakpajao area of Mushi, Lagos State, southwest Nigeria on Sunday has risen to 3, while 7 others were injured. The permanent secretary of the Lagos Emergency Management Agency, Femi Osonyitolu, said the mosque on Yusuf Street off Ladipo Road, Kwakpajao, collapsed while prayers was ongoing. He said the affected building has been leveled to ground zero. The incident adds to the long list of building collapses in Nigeria's commercial hub. Experts have blamed the use of substandard materials and incompetence, amongst others, for the continued cases of building collapse. Earlier, News Central's correspondent Adeshewa Odushoga was at the scene and gave an update.
About 3 openings to it, so there are like 3 or 4 streets that leads to the mosque, and then from all observation, only one part of that has been blocked, but we still have like heavy access of onlookers and eyewitnesses here. From the situation that you can see behind me, the mosque is now gone to ground zero, but unfortunately the authorities at the mosque is saying that we might have to disregard the news going round that the only person, the mosque only cost just 1 life, and that's of a 10-year-old student of the mosque, a child who is said to have come for Islamic studies. She said she was the only victim that died in the accident. However, there are 2 others who are critically injured, and that's of another about 10 to 11-year-old boy who is now in the hospital, and another adult who was...
Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we have more stories. Stay with us. Nigeria's Federal Ministry of Education has postponed the inauguration and retreat for pro-chancellors, chairmen, and members of governing councils of federal tertiary institutions. A statement by the ministry signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations, Folashade Boriowo, on Monday said the development comes as a result of a federal government directive following a State House press release on the 23rd of May 2024, calling for a comprehensive review of the membership of the nominees. The inauguration and retreat was earlier scheduled for Thursday 30th and Friday 31st May 2024. Let's also tell you that as Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu completes his first year in office, Nigerians have given their ratings on how the president has fared, especially as it concerns economic policies and its impact on the cost of living on the average citizen. From the removal of fuel subsidies to an increase in electricity tariff and the rising cost of food items, amongst others. Now, News Central's Adeshewa Odushoga tells us more.
Judging by the dramatic election that ushered President Bola Ahmed Tinubu into office, the expectations of his reign were met with mixed feelings. While his supporters were banking on the promises made during the campaign, others were either angry or pessimistic that their most preferred candidate did not emerge as president.
People are crying that even when we came out to vote, to participate in this election with everything that makes us us, and then eventually you go back and then you manipulate and you want to do whatever you want to do, then what are you telling us?
But the optimism of some of his supporters seemed to be short-lived as President Bola Tinubu in his inauguration speech announced the removal of fuel subsidy.
No provision is there for fuel subsidy. The fuel subsidy is gone.
This, many believed, prompted instant inflation and uncertainty in the consumer market, with fuel prices shooting up as high as 200%.
Before, we do buy fuel at the rate of 185, and if I should buy fuel for 185, I do buy 5 litre, let me say 750. And if I should use that 5 litre, I will use it to make 6,000 naira every blessed day. But now I'm buying fuel at the rate of 2,500 for 5 litres. My own income is not even coming out again.
Like this, you can wait for NEPA from 1 day to even 3 days. We don't go see light. But later we are going by the generator. Now I'm using diesel engine before. When the cost of diesel is too much, I turn to petrol. Now the petrol now is too high.
As a result of the increase in the price of petrol, the effect started to spiral down to the prices of commodities, especially food prices, which were already on the high side due to the lingering insecurity in the northern part of the country. Markets across Nigeria started to record fewer customers and diminishing patronage amidst rising prices.
Tẹ́lẹ̀ ara basket tomato 3,500 3,000 nísìnyí ó ti di 30 o ẹ gbà wá o.
Màlúù 300 gbà yẹn ńlá ni nísìnyí màlúù 1.3 1.4% ránṣẹ́ nìyẹn.
As part of its economic policies, the president floated the foreign exchange market and equally raised the electricity tariff by 300% for consumers on Band A. These are people who are categorized as those who enjoy electricity supply for more than 20 hours a day. According to Nigeria's Electricity Regulatory Agency, only about 12 million people are connected to the power grid, of whom 1.5 million are categorized under the Band A.
Whilst the intention was good, that communication was very it was a misfit, number one, for that type of occasion. Two, at that level of sensitivity of the Nigerian economy. Do not forget that we're still dealing with the impact of the naira scarcity and impact of general elections on consumer prices and all of that. And we're already dealing with the rising inflation and all that. So I felt that that policy could have been introduced, but in much more phased stages. And that's number one. Number two, the policy was not introduced with possible alternatives. There has to be alternatives.
1 year on, Nigerians are asked to give their ratings on how the president has fared so far, as it affects their cost of living.
This is the worst since I was born. I've never seen a thing like this before. So bad, there's nothing to see, in fact, nothing to write home about what is going on now.
Me gan si elo mo ngba 25,000. Ani ko ga wa fi kowo kò fi kowo. Owó yẹn ò tó ra ńjẹ débi pé ọmọ tèmi ti stop school.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected to complete his first 4-year term in office in 2027, with another 4 years if re-elected till 2031 in accordance with the Constitution. Although the president has continued to plead for patience, assuring that the dwindling economy will be back on its feet, for Nigerians, they will have to wait to see how long this pain will last. In Lagos, for News Central, Adeshewa Odushoga.
In the meantime, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has expressed strong disapproval of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's handling of critical economic reforms, including the removal of petroleum subsidies and the floating of the naira. Speaking at the Paul Ajay colloquium in Abuja this weekend, the former president argued that while these policies were necessary, their implementation was flawed. He called for a comprehensive 25-year roadmap to address the nation's various challenges and guide it towards recovery. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo highlighted that merely adjusting the exchange rate would not solve the ongoing economic crisis. Instead, he stressed the need for consistent and continuous policy measures to foster stability and predictability. which are essential for encouraging both domestic and foreign investment. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to dismiss ministers who fail to meet performance expectations, according to a special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga. In a recent interview, Ononuga revealed that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is currently assessing the ministers' performances against his administration's 8-point agenda, and those found lacking would be replaced. Ononuga praised the administration's efforts, rating its performance at 70. He acknowledged the economic challenges inherited from former President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, highlighting that 97% of Nigeria's revenue was used for debt servicing, with the country borrowing to cover recurrent expenses, including salaries. Children's Day, a day for appreciation of children, the nation's future leaders, is a time for festivities and reflection. As the country commemorates this year's Children's Day across the country, the air vibrates with excitement and worry. Now, News Central's Chidima Ona compiled this report.
Children all over the world are every nation's indispensable treasure. As Nigeria celebrates its Children's Day today, schools often close their doors, allowing children a day of rest and allowing the families to spend quality time with the nation's future leaders and changemakers. The day was established in 1954 as Universal Children's Day. It has been celebrated since then on different dates in several countries. But in Nigeria, it is marked on May 27th and observed as a public holiday for children. These future changemakers, who hold immense significance, are speaking about the better tomorrow they want to experience.
I want a better Nigeria, better leaders that could lead my country, so I'll have a brighter future in this country.
Good citizen in Nigeria. And I also want to become a doctor to treat people well.
A better country where they will not be suffering, where people will not die. Like where everybody will have something to eat.
I want Nigeria to have the best economy in the whole world.
I want Nigeria to be better than how it is right now. To be in a more better state by the time I grow up, so that I can lead Nigeria.
Days like this underscore the importance of prioritizing child well-being. The somber tone that engulfs the country due to the current economic challenges serves as a powerful call to action to invest in the future by ensuring every child in Nigeria has the opportunity to thrive.
Because they are children, they rely on us, the adults, the stakeholders, the government, everyone to ensure their protection, their development, their survival, even their participation across board.
Beyond the celebratory atmosphere, Children's Day serves as a crucial reminder of the work that remains. Continued efforts to safeguard and build back better for the future of the nation's youth is paramount.
In the heart of northern Nigeria, the artistry of hand-woven caps continues to captivate both local and international audiences. Crafted meticulously by skilled artisans, these caps represent more than just fashion. They also embody centuries-old tradition passed down through generations. Let's follow Umaru Kerawa to the ancient city of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital and center of the handmade caps.
First, a yard is cut into the cap shape, then lines are marked and knitters begin their skilled craft. With intricate patterns and vibrant colors, these caps have become a symbol of northern cultural pride and heritage. Despite the rise of modern fashion trends, the demand for these African caps remains strong, with enthusiasts from around the world seeking to own a piece of this rich cultural legacy.
I can't go out without wearing this cap, because if I dress and didn't wear this cap, I feel like being naked. I will feel uncomfortable in the midst of people. So wearing these caps has become part of my life.
Before,
when you put on this cap, people say you are Hausa or you are from northern Nigeria. But all over the country, people put on this. They don't even know who is an Igbo man, who is a Yoruba man, who is for Ijo or any other part of the country.
A local industry that has stood the test of time, the cap-making enterprise provides multiplicity of job opportunities to the young and old, and to men and women to earn a means of survival. Opportunities abound from cap designers, knitters, marketers to people that wash the caps.
Zawadu da kin ma kan tawo dimar lejin kan ta kwaliyar lejin. Mu muka karawa amma kam laso da dimma kan tawo falsitin ba.
Wannan ana kiran shi mai mala. Wannan kuma ana kiran shi ma sunan wani tsohon gwamnan mu ana ce da shi Miyaram, amma Ali Sharif suke kiran shi. Ga wannan shi ma ana kiran shi har manguno.
Kadan shi dai za su da guda 200 a nan kullum. Daga nan har China muna tura hula, daga nan har England muna tura hula.
Sometimes the cap designs are said to be made inspired by natural creations.
For over 1,000 years, the people of Borno have been interacting with the outside. They have been going to the Middle East through that medium of the Hajj. So when people are going, these items were exported to neighboring countries, to the West African sub-region, and to other parts of the world.
The dexterity displayed by the knitters is boosted by the innovative ideas they churn out.
Once we are very serious, we empower these people, it will attract tourism, it will attract transfer of capital.
The handmade caps are worn on various occasions, ranging from weddings, religious ceremonies, fashion shows to everyday wear.
For many, wearing a handmade cap like this is a matter of pride and tradition, representing a connection to their cultural roots and an ancestral heritage.
Sometimes even women want to put on cap in some instances, but it's generally for men. And I think it's a wonderful thing. It has become a global affair. People have even opened online businesses selling this cap, and they are making a lot of money.
As the world continues to evolve, these hand-woven caps have remained steadfast, preserving the essence of African culture for generations to come. They serve as ambassadors of tradition, bridging the gap between the past and the present, and reminded the citizenry of the...
The news continues in Southern Africa. With few days left to the much anticipated South African elections, political parties wrap up their campaigns to lure voters to their side over the weekend. The African National Congress, ANC, was ending its Sian-Koba rally at the FNB Stadium outside Soweto in Johannesburg. After days of door-to-door campaigns, addressing public meetings and engaging different stakeholders including churches, business owners, artists, traditional leaders and others, the ANC wrapped its election campaign with the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa addressing its supporters. Ramaphosa said he's confident the party has a solid manifesto which will take it forward. News Central's Bongani Sylva gives us the story.
Just a few days before the crucial elections, the ANC is pulling out all stops to rally support and secure votes.
It was a sea of black and gold over the weekend at the FNB Stadium as the ANC governing party officials and supporters gathered for the final rally before the elections. President Cyril Ramaphosa gave that final speech to his supporters and those who doubt the ANC's ability to bring about positive change, challenging them to believe in the governing party.
Together, we will do more and we will do better. We come together in the spirit of peace, of love, of humility, on the eve of one of the most important elections in our country's history.
He further outlined the key priorities that the ANC will focus on when voted into power again.
The unemployed and the middle class, we are addressing needs like food, housing, healthcare, and wages. We will prioritize food security, including VAT exemption on essential items. support communities and home gardens, and take action against price fixing. We will expand subsidized basic services like electricity, water, and houses for the poor through the indigent program in our municipalities.
Thousands of supporters listened intently, but the question is, will this enthusiasm translate into votes for the ANC?
No, we have to defend the movement of the African National Congress, because this is the only liberation movement that can save the African continent, including the youth of Africa. Remember, the reason why we're voting African National Congress, the other opposition parties, they want to get away with the Basic Condition of Employment Act, which is DA want to move away it because they want to pay our youth 20 rand per hour.
In ANC done many things, RDPs, lot of things for people. So at this time, after the vote, I'm telling you, maybe ANC will do more.
Among the crowd, the youth stand out, each one reflecting on why they continue to support the ANC despite the challenges of unemployment, water shortages, and other issues in their communities. Even the first-time voters expressed their faith in the ANC.
I am the first-time voter and I'm going to vote for ANC. I'm here today because of ANC and the things that they have contributed, like school-wise, like the houses that we have and the water. I appreciate the little that we have.
As the ANC's last rally before the elections come to a close, the question remains, will President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech be enough to secure victory on the final day? Only time will tell. In Soweto, Johannesburg, for News Central, Bongani Siziba.
In Soshanguve, sprawling township in North Pretoria, residents say they live in fear of the rampant lawlessness as one family mourns their young child killed during a violent carjacking. Crime has also become a hotbed issue ahead of the May 29th general polls.
We're even afraid to get out of our houses at night. We're afraid to drive our cars at night because of this crime that's happening in Soshanguve. I think that the cops need to do something better than what they are doing now. We are prisoners in our own homes, and this has to stop, really. We are going to elections. Who are we going to vote for? The crime is like this. So really, it's hurting. From the bottom of my heart, it's hurting.
If you stay around this area, you've got to be very much vigilant, because anything is possible. We don't see the police patrollers. We only see them when the incident has happened like this one, when somebody is dead. We'll see minister coming, we'll see most of the cars that are the police around, but during the day or during when, you'll never see even one car of the police patrol in the area.
Over the weekend, South Africans and other African nationalities living in South Africa celebrated Africa Day at the historic Vilakazi Street, once home to world icon Nelson Mandela and Desmond Tutu. The 25th of May every year is a day set aside to celebrate the African diversity and cultural heritage of its people. Now, this year's African Day celebration also coincides with South Africa celebrating 3 decades milestone of the country's constitutional democracy, celebrated under the theme Celebrating 30 Years of Freedom Building, a Better Africa and a Better World. Now, News Central's Bongani Siziba has more.
The procession is a beautiful display of unity, with each flag representing a different African nation coming together as one and symbolizing unity among diverse African cultures.
It is a very important day that we are celebrating after the initiation of the Africa Free Trade Agreement, which will now integrate all of us in our economic activities and also ensure beneficiation of our minerals in the African continent, which will benefit
the people of the African continent. We are also glad that the last organ of the AU has also signed the protocol or passed the protocol on the empowerment of youth and women in the economy. So we believe this will further integrate and mainstream young people of the continent and the women of the continent in the mainstream of the economy.
This day is a very poignant celebration for us as a people of Africa. We're celebrating our Africa Day. We're celebrating our unity as a continent and embracing that and encouraging the people of the continent and our countries, Africa as well, to embrace each other as a people of Africa, but also to continue that journey of us working together as a people of the continent.
Various cultural groups, each representing its country, took it to the dance floor, showcasing their unique traditions and leaving the audience wanting more. It's a celebration of diversity and unity.
It's good to see all of us here as Africans united together, all borders broken. And we wish that this could be a remembrance really of us as a people, of where we are, that despite our borders, despite our differences, despite everything, we are still one people.
Unity is strength. If African countries are coming together, unite themselves, it strengthens us and it gives us a good lifestyle. I think it's very important for us to come together as African countries and be one.
For those looking to soothe their taste buds, traditional African food was on display, adding a burst of color and flavor to the festivity. It was a day filled with culture, unity, and delicious food.
It's a hope. That kind of situation is the right way to go to support each other, because we are a fellow South Africans as an African continent, that we're able to come together and celebrate so that we can be able to break the barrier of the boundaries that we do have, because we are one nation, you know. From Cape to Kara, we should be able to travel freely and embrace one another and support each other.
Impressive, because most of the countries are united here. It shows that we are one.
As the day progressed, the spirit of Africa Day lingered in the air, reminding each attendee of the rich tapestry of cultures that make up this beautiful continent.
Whether you are South African, Zimbabwean, Malawian or Nigerian, this celebration showcases the beauty of our differences coming together to form a harmonious whole. It is a testament to the fact that despite our diverse backgrounds, we are all united as one African family. In Soweto, Johannesburg, for News Central, Bongani Sisiba.
In a tragic turn of events, local sources report that approximately 10 civilians have been killed in the latest attack in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The assaults are attributed to the Allied Democratic Forces, a rebel group affiliated with the Islamic State. The brutal incident, which occurred over the weekend, has led local authorities to issue an urgent appeal for assistance. The ADF, originally comprised of mainly Muslim Ugandan rebels, have been entrenched in eastern DRC for nearly 3 decades, during which they have been responsible for the deaths of thousands of civilians. Still ahead. Nigeria's first quarter GDP results for 2024 are in, and they present a bit of a puzzle. Now, the economy grew at 2.98%, exceeding the same period last year, but falling short of the growth achieved in quarter 4 of 2023. This is particularly interesting considering the positive Purchasing Managers Index (PMI) readings. As earlier on Business Edge today, Abiodun Kayode, Senior Manager Tax and Regulatory Services, PwC Nigeria, joined the show and shared his thoughts.
There's going to be an appreciable growth, and the reason for that is because if you consider the first quarter, that was where we had lots of festive period periods. I mean, a lot of buying and selling, preparation, people traveling, and even those who are most of our folks in the diaspora are coming into the country, probably because it's cold over there, coming into the country, coming to see home and spending time with family. So you would expect a lot of activity. So you can understand why sectors like transportation sector were growing and booming, and why activities generally were actually growing in the fourth quarter of 2023. But when you begin the year, people begin to return, people begin to go back to work, and they begin to plan in anticipation for the future. Spending is not that quite much in the first quarter of the year. So one other thing that you can also think about based on this report, if you remember the first quarter of this year, we even had, or towards the end of last year, we had issues with power, right? We take, for instance, the Egbin gas power plant having issues right there. And most of these things translated into the amount of power that most individuals and businesses got in the first quarter of the year, which if you even delve deeper, you would see that the power sector actually contracted, right, in a long period of time. So I think these are the reasons why we can expect that growth actually went down on a quarter-on-quarter basis.
Match day 33 of the NPFL resumed across different venues as Ayimba and Oka United got the only away victory on Sunday. In the Umaya Township Stadium, Ayimba defeated Abia Warriors FC by 1-0 as Bernard Voke gave the People's Elephant the win in another Orient derby that was keenly contested among both sides. In Owerri, Heartland dominated the game, scoring 3 goals against Goble United FC, who failed to find the back of the net in 90 minutes. Enugu Rangers FC put on a sterling performance, defeating Bayelsa United FC with a scoreline of 3-0 at the Cathedral. In a thrilling encounter, Ilorin Kwara United edged out Remo Stars with a 3-2 victory. At the Mohammed Diko Stadium, Shooting Stars was held to a 2-2 draw against the host Katsina United. And that's a wrap on the news at this time, but before we go, another look at some of our top stories. We told you that Nigeria's federal government suspends Air Nigeria project indefinitely. We also told you that court affirms Bayelsa governor's election victory. 10 civilians killed in DR Congo's rebel attack. Folks, don't forget to send in your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. You can also follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Apple TV, and YouTube. Thanks for watching. Jack at Digweed. Bye for now.